One of the famous quote by Stephen Covey, most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. It happens. If somebody's telling me something, oh, I got a great story to share after this, and you miss the last part of what came out of their mouth. Or you miss their feelings associated with the issue at work because you're thinking about how to solve it based on what they said at the beginning, and you miss the last part of the conversation. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. So again, this is one of Stephen Covey's principles in the Best Habits. So, conflict. There is a definition of conflict. So think about one in your head right now. So, conflict is an expressed struggle. All right, so what that means is you know there's something wrong. There's some level of tension. So, let's say my boss didn't include me in a meeting and typically walks by my office in the morning and says, "Good morning." And for whatever reason, I wasn't included in the meeting yesterday, and the next day she usually walks past my office and says, "Hi," and she didn't. What are my options? Go down the hallway? And go say, "Hey, good morning," right? So there's some options. Or I can make assumptions about what happened, and I can assume she purposely left me out of a meeting, and she's mad at me because she didn't say hello. And I may get frustrated. So what might I do? Okay, I might do something, and what's she gonna do? She's like, what is wrong with her, right? So there's some level of expressed struggle. I could become negative in a meeting, and this is all based on perceptions, but my inability to communicate with her could affect us getting our job done. So there's two interdependent parties who may perceive, and this is a big word, perceive, incompatible goals. She wants to be in control of the meeting. She wants all of the information. She's rude, she's in a bad mood, she's not going to perform well in this meeting this afternoon, so I'm going to leave her out. Perception of incompatible goals, and then scarce resources. We only have so much time in meetings, we only have so many decisions that can be made, we only have so much money to award. I can't risk her coming in and causing a problem. And interference from the other party in achieving goals. She didn't even give me the information I needed for the meeting. And this can escalate. So let's take it to something even simpler, a parking spot. You ever gone shopping at Christmas and two cars coming to the same parking spot, right? How might you express the fact that there's a potential conflict? We both want that parking spot. So what are your options? You can go like that. You could just go, right? And this can also happen on the road. It's called road rage, right? So nonverbal, verbal, that's mine, right? Express struggle, and it's interdependent because if you take that spot, I don't get it, right? And incompatible goals, we both want the same spot. And there's only one where we want it, and you're making my life difficult because you want that spot. I work at the base a lot. They compete for budgets on a regular basis. Same people, same team, people want more money. This is a regular occurrence. So they have processes they put in place to figure out who gets what, when, and how. So let's look at another example. You're in the break room, and there's an orange. I should have an orange. And two people want the orange. Person A and person B both want the orange. And so there's a conflict because there's only one orange. So this is each of their position. My position is I want that orange. Now, what do we know for sure about person A and person B? What do you know for sure? They're people, and they want that orange. So, what was that? They both want it, and there's only one. But what is their interest? This is when conflict can actually be productive. We're arguing over this orange, but I haven't discovered what each person wants. So I talked to person A. Person A wants to make orange juice, right? Person B wants to make a cake. So they just want the outside of the orange for a cake. Oh. So what are some options that person A and B can brainstorm? Brainstorm some options of choices either one can make in this situation. Come on, do the one you really want.
You split it.
You can split it. We can split it. What was that last one?
Fight.
We can fight for it. I might just grab it and run. Peel?
So juice it and then hand the peel over.
Okay. You're going to say something else? Okay. I might throw it out the window so nobody gets it. Right? Kind of like slamming down the book.
Person C comes in and takes it while they're fighting.
Okay, right? Okay, someone else gets it. Okay, gets it. Okay, so we're brainstorming different options. So then you go down and you say, okay, what criteria can we apply to our choices? First criteria is we have to have all the tools. So let's say we have to have the tools to make it work. We both have to be happy. So it has to be a win-win, and it can't cost any money. I'm just throwing some criteria up there. So now let's look at them. Does splitting the orange cost anything? Is it a win-win? And do we have the tools for it?
Probably it's in the kitchen.
We're going to assume, right? Because it's in the kitchen. So we're going to say that's a winner. What about juicing and then peeling it? Is that a win-win? Cost anything? Do we have the tools? Most likely. I mean, if we have a juicer, it makes it easier. What about fight? Does it accomplish anything? What about grab and run? It's not a win-win. It might be a win for one of us. Throw it out the window. Someone else take it, right? So now which one do you want to do? Do you want to split the orange or do you want to juice it and then peel it?
Juice and peel.
Okay, there we go. So there's a solution, right? However, this is the biggest step, which also builds on listening. You have to ask the right questions and listen to what people are interested in and figure out not just their position, but their interest. Why do they want it? People skip this step. They look at this and then they assume someone is in that position and they're being difficult. They want to compete. But when you really ask, you can figure out more about it. If you think, though, about conflicts that happen in promotions, some people get promoted internally and they were both going up for the same position. That can create a lot of conflict. So sometimes this interest conversation is difficult because people have to admit they're upset they didn't get the promotion. I'm upset I didn't get the promotion, and my morale and my work ethic is disappearing because of it. I feel like I'm not valued. Oh, so value is your interest. I can show you're valuable and you mean something by not, even if you don't have a promotion. So the real interest is people aren't recognizing me for what I do. Well, I got the promotion, so I mean that's recognition for me, but if you're looking for recognition, let's talk about some things that would help you feel more valuable and more recognized. And then the conflict potentially could disappear or be resolved or mutually agree to disagree. So when there's a conflict, it doesn't hurt to step back and think, we both have different positions, but maybe there are interests we could address and potentially come up with a solution for. Takes a little bit of time. I call it stepping out on the balcony. You step out on the balcony and you look down at the big picture. You look down at the person you're in a conflict with, the situation, your perspective, and you try to weed out the juice versus the rind for the cake. It looks kind of easy on paper, but when you have feelings and emotions, it gets a little bit more difficult. Oftentimes you can find a common ground. Sometimes you can't, which brings us to a true-false question. Conflict is bad and unhealthy for the organization. True or false? It's not necessarily bad. If you read a book, it's by Patrick Lencioni. It's one of my favorite books. It's all about the 5 dysfunctions of a team. Conflict in a team environment is good. if you have trust and your motive is genuine and it's for the best interest of the organization. To have respectful disagreement actually is healthy for an organization. And a team. My prior job, we did it really, really well. We would start new policies, we'd disagree with each other, and at the end, best policy ever. It was great. I was like, oh, who would have thought that? We never could have done that alone.